Silence, please. We are back.
We are the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East.
We are back.
We are the Porsche
Sprint Challenge Middle East. We are ready.
all together.
We are the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East.
We're back. Silence, please. We are back.
We are the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East.
We are back.
We are the Porsche.
Sprint Challenge Middle East. We are ready.
All together.
We are the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East.
We're back.
So, welcome everybody in Europe and around the world. We can say hello to everybody from the 1-Yas Marina circuit. What an iconic racetrack for round 3 in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East. And we can see in the camera here in the commentaries booth, it's Robert Lechner next to me, the head and promoter of the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East. And Robert, yeah, nice that you're here. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Eric, and good afternoon here from Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I would say in Europe it's, I think, 1:30. So, no, it's 11:30, 10:30. It's morning. So,
nearly breakfast time.
Have a good breakfast in Europe. And Robert, yeah, we said it already. It's an iconic racetrack where Formula One every year makes history. How is the feedback of the drivers being here again?
Everyone loves this track and this amazing facility. To come here, obviously knowing the big boys in F1, they come here every year for their final. And still, I remember myself, I was here in 21, the big showdown between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. And driving on this track is like a dream come true for many of our drivers here in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East. And also for us as an organization, for all the teams, mechanics, so great staff, atmosphere. And now I'm sure people, when you see the cars lining up for qualifying session, I see Paul Spooner here in front of the number 8 car for Team Saudi Racing.
It's a new guy. It's Ahmed bin Kanen.
A new face here in the championship.
It's a new face. We have 19 cars in total and a very international grid again. When I'm right, I counted 14 nationalities. We also have a man from China joining the championship. So, and another guy from here we have him from the Dominican Republic. It's Evren Castro. He was racing in the Porsche Carrera Cup in the US. And you know what? He was racing for Hardpoint EBM. So it was for Earl Bamber, who is also in charge this weekend with the Daytona 24 Hours. And yeah, it's again, as I said, a very international grid here.
Yeah, we're very proud of that. Obviously, this is already season 14 for us here in the region, in the Middle East. And yeah, beautiful. Always the weather, of course, helps with sunshine today. Wasn't that kind of warm the last 2 days when testing took place here, where we see
Søren Spreng
is still talking to his team. Yeah, so it's for sure, and also spectators, everyone welcome here to join this Porsche Sports Cup Abu Dhabi event together with our local partners here from Porsche Middle East and Africa. So yeah, excited, and even I'm already excited, but I'm even more excited later on when we see race 1 today in the afternoon. And now we're going to see and experience qualifying to find out not just only who is the fastest overall, but also who is the fastest in our Pro-Am and in our AM category. So definitely
that's what we maybe have to say, the spectators that does not know the championship as well as you do. We have 3 different classes. You mentioned already the AM, the ambitious class. We have the Pro-Am class, which is maybe the most competitive class, we have to say, in the field. And for sure we have the Pro class, and we will see the Pro class drivers fighting for the pole position today. We had a little taste in the morning with the free practice, and we've seen Ariel Levy and Ghislaine Cordel, the men who were fighting in the season so far for victories, will be fighting again for pole position. And we have a comeback of a guy that is supposed to be also a very talented man in Europe. We have Harry Jones from Australia coming back into the championship, and I think we can say, as he's also racing for you, he will be one of the promising talents in the Cup, right?
Yeah, he's the Porsche Carrera Cup champion from Australia. He joined us for the opening round in Bahrain, which took place together with FIA, the World Endurance Championship in November. And first of all, I mean, we have such a, you mentioned it, we have such a high level of drivers here. We see Bashar Mardini, he's back in the championship, so it's good to see him.
He's leading the championship in the Pro-Am class, and maybe we had a little chat with him after the free practice, and maybe we can have that now to hear what he expects from this weekend.
Yeah, before we hear Bashar Mardini, we hear some engine noise, and it's going to be loud here in a minute as qualifying will start. The cars are lining up to go to the end of the pit lane, and then it's 30 minutes to go until the end of the session for our first qualifying.
And now I heard we have Bashar Mardini, so let's hear him. So Bashar Mardini, you're coming here as the leader in the Pro-Am class, and after free practice, it seems obvious that we will expect a great fight in qualifying.
You know, after the first round, I believe I told you that my competition is not going to just sit around and wait, and as you can see, they have not. So it's an incredible fight. The level of competition in Pro-Am is, I've never seen such competitiveness from the field. It's a really strong field. It's great fun to drive. It's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, but I'm very happy to be here. And I mean, I'll try my best. I have not topped any session yet, but it all matters at the end of the race, and anything can happen.
So still some steps to do before qualifying to find some time?
You know, the 1-Yas Marina circuit is a very tricky and technical circuit, and putting together a lap without any mistakes and on the limit is really very challenging. And it seems to be that what will make the difference between qualifying in the top two and, let's say, in below that is who is able to put the lap together. But it seems like 5 drivers have the speed to do it. So who knows?
And how difficult is especially the third sector?
The third sector is not so bad, actually. I like the third sector. That's where I'm not having a problem. My problem is in the second sector, which is not expected. So, but it's going to be difficult to overtake here. It's going to be difficult it's going to be a difficult race. 12 laps is a long time, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you. Good luck for the...
Thanks.
So we've heard Bashar Mardini, and we've seen his car, the 89 car from Huber Racing. And as I said, he's the leader in the championship, and yeah, a very fast man.
Yeah, indeed, and an experienced man here. And I'm sure he will be trying his maximum now in qualifying. He's with a good team, a very experienced team of Christoph Huber, the team principal and owner. Huber Racing, they're also the championship winning team in Germany of the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany, driver and team champions. And obviously, yes, he's with strong teammates as well. For example, Ariel Levy, he's basically leading the Huber Racing team, and also he's leading our overall championship. So I expect Ariel Levy to drive a bit later, while we're now with car number 63 from Austria, which is Leo Willert driving, or driven by Leo Willert for 1-Yas Monkeys Racing. That's 1-Yas Monkey. I have to tell you, that's the name of his band.
I know that.
You know that.
I know that. I spoke with him about it. And
Leo is a great drummer.
He's the drummer.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Leo is a great drummer, a rock drummer, and a motorsport petrol head, I would say. Big car lover, sports lover, very fit, and it's going to be his first time in the GT3 Cup car around here. Obviously, there was free practice, but first time racing in the GT3 Cup car. He was our GT4 champion here in the Middle East, while this man is pretty new to the region, to the car, to everything.
Efren Castro, I think he's based in New York City, but as I said, he's from the Dominican Republic. So we have another flag in the series, another nationality. And see the cars from Saudi Racing. So we're seeing Georgi Donchev, a very fast man from Bulgaria. He's certainly able to do pole position in the Pro-Am class. He was very fast also in free practice this morning, while we see the rest of the field still waiting. The qualifying is already running. And the man from Bulgaria, he's the fastest man so far on track. As we see Leo Willett. You said it already, it was on his bucket list. I remember when we came here with him in a GT4 car. He wanted to race here in Abu Dhabi. And he was so delighted that he tried a new challenge with a GT3 car. That's amazing.
Yes, he's basically exactly what I explained and said before. He's a big motor racing fan and a race driver in our AM category, and I always say it's our ambitious category and not an amateur category as like in most other championships, because people like Leo, for example, who join our Porsche Sprint Challenge here in the Middle East, who are very ambitious to first of all to feel ready to come here, to make the move, to spend all the energy and time that's required. And the same thing for everyone else driving here, like Jan Dober, for example, from the Netherlands. He's been here now with his team GP Elite for a couple of seasons, so he's enjoying it a lot. And obviously the new GT3 Cup racing car also has the possibility to be run with ABS and traction control. So just to quickly explain, only in our AM category, for example, here again we see the car number 63. Yes, this is the only category where it is allowed to use ABS and traction control, because it should also be the feeder category for drivers and people who come from a GT4 car. And like Leo, he's the perfect example. He was winning the GT4 championship before. He was racing also in the Porsche Sprint Challenge in Central Europe in a GT4 Cayman Club Sport car. So for him, it's ideal to adapt and just step into a car because he's used to ABS and traction control.
And I guess sometimes it's not so easy for you as the organizers to decide who is in the Pro class and the Pro-Am class, because these guys from the Pro-Am class, they're really fast, and we've seen a lot of fights on track between Pro and Pro-Am drivers.
Absolutely right, and like you have said before, Eric, it's the Pro-Am class for me, and also I think for everyone who follows our series. It's a very tough one because you have a lot of experienced people, fast people, but also all the upcoming young talents in there, like also local talents from Saudi Arabia, yeah, from the region here, like from Bahrain, for Team Bahrain, we have Salman bin Rashid Al Khalifa, for example. So you have people like him who won a championship before. He was a former champion here in the Middle East, and that means he has a very professional approach, and therefore, yes, the Pro-Am category is really tough. And clearly the Pro category, to finish that off, clearly in the Pro category, this is supposed for drivers who already are entering in Super Cup or in Carrera Cup or in any other professional championship.
We see spectators, and you mentioned it, the weather has become beautiful. We had rain yesterday, which was very difficult and brought some problems for the schedule, but somehow we managed it to see the sessions under dry conditions. which is, of course, very important for all the drivers to sharpen their skills on this difficult racetrack here in Abu Dhabi. See again, Georgi Donchev, the man from Bulgaria, experienced also in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. He's certainly one of the contenders to fight for the championship title in the Pro-Am class. And as Robert, you spoke about Salman bin Rashid Al Khalifa, the man who is racing here for Team Bahrain. And for sure, the first two events at home soil were very special for him. And we also had a quick chat with him after free practice. After free practice, it seems like it was a tough session for you so far.
It has been. Readjusting to a new circuit has been tough. The competition is very close, as you can see from the times. Nothing separates, the drivers, so a bit of a gain will take us further 2 or 3 places. And I enjoy the challenge. It's nice to be challenging myself like this in what I could call a new track.
So what is the target in qualifying, and what is maybe a little step to be even more competitive?
The target in qualifying would be to maximize the performance, obviously, start from as high up as possible to have a clean race. But it's not a big issue. I enjoy my racing, and if I'm further down the pack, it's just more fun.
And we showed our spectators the season opener, the highlights of Bahrain. I guess also a very highlight for you.
It is always a home race. It was my comeback race after 10 years or so. It's really a fascinating memory I'll always carry, and I'm very thankful to the team at Lekner Racing and Team Bahrain for trusting in me to race the car for them.
And how much fun is this futuristic, iconic track here in Abu Dhabi?
It's great. I was here in the first 2 iterations, the inaugural and second year. So it's nice to see the changes. It's looking exactly like it has since day one after all this time. So congrats to the team at 1-Yas. And it's such a fascinating circuit to drive technically. So it's a challenge to the drivers, and we enjoy that.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Pleasure. Thank you.
So, Robert, we heard Salman bin Rashid Al Khalifa, and of course, impressive races for him in Bahrain on home soil. And he was struggling a little bit in free practice, which also shows how competitive the field is.
Yes, I mean, so far we see drivers still getting ready in the pit lane, and I'm sure we'll see him, Salman bin Rashid Al Khalifa, on track soon, as we see here.
Saudi guys.
Khalid Al Ahmedi, our GT4 champion from last season. He also stepped up from GT4 to GT3 under the guidance and leadership of Paul Spooner, who is the team manager of Saudi Racing. And we had Basha Madini before, and we see him in the picture right now. He's also getting ready, seatbelts on. Yeah, that's the moment where drivers are focused the most, and it's important that helmet needs to be in place and everything. Like here we saw Harry King next to Alex Malekin preparing, and in the picture we have the number 25 car, Jan Tober. So we can see it's heating up a bit more, and we have 70 minutes to go still in this session. So normally in the last 10 minutes, I guess we see all cars on track, on new tires, because that's exactly what you need for qualifying. You need a new set of Michelin tires, and then get the maximum out of your rear-wheel driven 911, and make sure that you get the maximum grip on all 4 tires and best temperatures around, so that basically at the end it shows the maximum lap time that you can achieve, and this should bring the best possible qualifying time.
Vielleicht machen wir noch den. So far we have 4 times. We have Georgi Donchev still on pole position, and behind him it's Ahmed bin Kanen. As I said, he's very new. It's his debut here in the series, and after free practice we spoke with him, and for sure there was quite a big gap for him, and he lacks experience, but he was really fascinated about being part of the series, and yeah, we also spoke with him, and I think we can hear him in a few seconds after free practice, what he said after the first laps this morning here on the circuit. Okay, we'll take some seconds until we hear our new guy. So we hear Ahmed bin Kanen. Here he is. Ahmed bin Kanen, we see you with your debut here in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East. And how do you feel after the free practice session today?
It was really nice. It wasn't that long of a session. It was like at the beginning we're making the brakes on spot, but unfortunately I didn't get a chance to do a flying laps. My 2 flying laps there was double yellow flag, so I end up with no flying lap, but nevertheless I'm just here to learn every time I'm outside, so that's the target.
Yeah, so there's room to improve. 15th overall, so what's the target for quali?
Just getting better than this, hopefully a second better or 2 seconds or whatever, just push it to the limit and see the result at the end.
And as it is the first time for you here in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East, how does it feel to be part of the family?
It's really great to be here. I love this Porsche Challenge. It's the best race in the Middle East, especially with this huge number of grid and a huge number of very fast drivers. So it's only the best race here.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing what he said, and we've seen a few lock-ups of the man from Saudi racing, Ahmed bin Kanen. And Robert, it gets crowded now on track because now we see the fight for pole position.
Yeah, we see Mark J. Thomas in the number 17 car. He also collected victories already this year for his team M3L from Canada. So that's another great nationality to add here in the championship.
He's competing in the AM class and the ambitious class, and he's leading the championship.
Absolutely. He is the man leading our AM category right now, and it's good to see him back. He is leading it by 1 point. So you see how close the competition is throughout the whole field. He has a lot of local experience. He has been racing in the region, but also in the US. Therefore,
yeah, we see the young man from China.
Yeah, coming to a man who has no local experience.
Absolutely not, yeah, sure. But it's amazing to have a guy from China racing with you.
Yes, we are open. The Middle East, and especially during, as we call it, winter time, it's perfectly, with the locations you have, ideally the constant weather that you have here. It's perfect for drivers and teams, including everyone from an engineer to a mechanic. It's perfect to prepare yourself for any other project, like people who are going back to race in a Carrera Cup, no matter if it's in China or in Europe. We try to give them a perfect platform. So looking at sectors right now, we will see we have 15 cars on track. At the moment we have Georgi Donchev leading with a 156.45. So yeah, he's leading the table. And we have Ahmed bin Kanen with a 158. So basically in P2. So I expect times to drop a lot within a few minutes, while our current leader is leaving the pit lane again, and we follow the number 27 car. We're with Salman bin Rashid in the Pro-Am category.
Yeah, I said it already, he was struggling a little bit in free practice, so we will see what he's able to do in qualifying, because he's always a very fast man who is able to do pole position.
Yes, and who also is able to do pole position is Ariel Levy. We saw him still waiting in the pit lane. So obviously he's waiting for the track to improve as well, because all the running right now obviously helps the track to gain more grip and to be less sturdy. Once all the cars are on track, the last 5 minutes most likely to be the fastest of the whole session.
Yeah, we've seen Alex Malikin, who was very successful in Bahrain when we were there for the second stop. And here we see Bashar Madini. We heard it already, he said it. It will be a tough fight for the championship title this season, the Pro-Am class.
We see a lot of drivers, by the way. We see a lot of drivers just now warming up tires and getting ready. And that's so important on your out lap. You need to make sure that you bring the right temperature, also front to rear tires. So you see all this waving, like the picture showing now. It's so important that drivers make sure that the average temperature on all 4 tires, front wheels and rear wheels, are about right. And indicating lights or flashing lights mean that Salman bin Rashid Al Khalifa is on a personal fast lap. So that's also important to get a free and a clear lap, obviously. That's also very important. So again, we see flashing lights from the number 8 car, which is Ahmed. He's now catching Harry Jones in the yellow DHL car.
Who was waving in front of him. Still, as you said, bringing temperature and pressure into the tires. Ghislain Cordel, the young man from Belgium, who is second in the championship so far.
Yes, he's not just only in the number 2 car when it comes to starting numbers, he's also number 2 on the point standings in our overall classification, driving for a very successful Team GP Elite from the Netherlands. Already his second season here with us in the Middle East, and definitely a man to watch for pole position. While here we have Bandar Al-Essay from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in the number 7 car, a race winner before. I will never forget, he won his fantastic home race at the Jeddah F1 Grand Prix, this mega fast Cornish street circuit. So also it's going to be interesting to see what he's doing. And in the number 3 car we have his teammate Saud Al Saud, basically one of the juniors here next to Khaled Al Ahmadi.
Also coming out of the GT4.
Exactly, they were teammates last year for Team Saudi Racing in GT4. Now they're teammates again in the GT3 Cup car.
And it was nice to see they were fighting against each other last year for the title in the GT4, but worked together very friendly and very effective as teammates.
Yes, that's what I would call professional. And it also shows how well educated they are. And like I said, it's a good team this year led by Bandar Al-Essay. Last year there was also Fahad Al-Ghosaibi.
We see a new best Sector 1 from Salman Al Khalifa, 24.877.
I was just about to add and finish that Fahad, our reigning champion, he finished top overall, and he deserved to be mentioned because he's our Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East champion from last season. He decided to focus on different things, so now the team is basically led by Bandar Al-Essay as the most experienced driver in this team.
And Fahad, we have to say, he's also a very professional, I think it's called free diver.
Yes, he's a free diver. I mean, his father, Fawaz Al-Ghosaibi, I mean, the background in the family, it's all about sports in the first place, and then for sure cars and motorsport. So we saw father and son together in the championship before, which is always great, and also shows that from Pro to AM, basically we're here for everyone. And soon all 19 cars, which means everyone will be on track. So we should focus on split times. And I see
it's 7 minutes to go, and now we are waiting for the really fast times. It's still Georgi Donchev on pole position.
Professional pole, as I would call it, yes.
Absolutely.
So maybe let's see if we can catch air. Yes, we are with Ariel Levy. Let's see if we can follow him this lap. Huh?
He has 2 personal best sectors.
That would be good if we could follow the number 75 car of Ariel Levy from Huber Racing.
And he's on 5 so far. 5th position for Ariel Levy. Now he drops down to 6th.
Yeah, I think there was still a warm-up lap from him. While we see a car spinning, that's the number 23 car. Khaled Al Ahmadi, yeah, that was a spin, but luckily he didn't hit anything. Let's, rewind. Oh, did he hit? Oh, he did hit. Oh, wow. That was actually quite a big hit. We saw the end of the spin. No, he hit the barrier on the left. Oh, that's a shame.
So
He lost the car under braking. It went to the
I guess
left.
the session is stopped now.
And that will most likely cause a red flag because he will not be able to move that car, I believe. Yes, he's already exiting the car. Yeah, the clock is stopped as well with 6 minutes to go, which is basically the 6 minutes that everyone needs, or the 6 minutes that are needed for everyone to do a fast lap here.
Well, first we have to bring all the debris off the track, and we see here again.
And that was a heavy hit to the left under braking. So late braking, you see the wheel came off on the rear after the impact, of course. And it's good to see Khalid out of the car. So he's fine. That's good to see. So I can report that to the family and team. So he's absolutely fine. Thumbs up. But the car isn't. So definitely this will take some time to get this car back to the pit lane. And then it also will take some time to repair that car.
Hopefully we will see him in the race. He's on 9th position so far, Khalid Al-Ahmadi. But for sure, a lot of work for the team.
Yes, and that's the right thing to do as we see cars lining up, and Harry Jones in the number 12 DHL car, in the yellow and red machine, the 911 GT3 Cup car. Door is open, and he's now in the best position to, when the session is resumed, that he can leave the pit lane. Some damage here. That doesn't look too good to me. So definitely suspension on one side. I would say the rear and the front suspension.
Yes, and as you said, we see Harry Jones in front of the field. And we also spoke to the young man from Australia after free practice. Let's hear him. So, Harry Jones, after the free practice in the morning, you were the quickest so far. So how happy are you with your performance and the car so far?
Yeah, it was a good start to the day. Quickest in practice 1. So we got qualifying coming up. That's when the important stuff starts. But yeah, I mean, the car feels really good. The track's amazing. We'll get another set of new tyres in qualifying. So we'll just hopefully do the same again.
And it seems like we can see a fight between you and Ariel Levy.
Yeah, definitely. There's some good competition here this weekend. So myself, Levy, Gordil, yeah, it'll be definitely very tight between us, but hoping that we can put the DHL car on top.
And after the rain yesterday, it seems like perfect conditions today.
Yeah, it was really good. We're actually pulling 6th gear on some of the straights down the back as well. So I think the headwinds are gone as well. So yeah, it's a very fast track today, that's for sure.
So good luck for the quali. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we've heard Harry Jones, and yeah, very promising young man, and we will see him as well in the Porsche Super Cup. So, Robert, what do you expect of him?
Yeah, he's a very professional and a very fit young man. You can see that in the picture, definitely. Coming from, I think, born in the Gold Coast, but living in the Sunshine Coast, just like an hour from Brisbane, and being a champion in Australia. You know, it's a tough championship down under. But for sure, it is always going to be a big step for him coming from Australia, moving to Europe, adapting to all these new tracks. So that's the reason why he's here, because this is a typically new F1 track, I would say, from all the standards and the safety around. We could also see that with, unfortunately, the incident that was just reported by Khalid Al-Ahmadi. So definitely the tracks that Harry Jones and all others, like I will see Ariel Levy will join the Super Cup as well. So Ghislain Cordel will join the Porsche Mobile 1 Super Cup. So definitely all these modern F1 tracks nowadays. It's all about braking because ideally there's lots of runoff. Except Monaco, I would say, because that's a street circuit and a street race. But there's lots of runoff, so it's all about braking really late, and then it's about controlling the braking without the ABS. And this is where Khalid lost the car before. You know, it's so easy to lock up. It's so easy that either the rear wheels overbrake. And then, of course, when the rear wheels overbrake, then you lose the car. So I believe that's exactly what happened with Khalid. And I really hope we can see him back for the race later on. While we see here Harry King, another Super Cup pro, talking to his driver, Alex Malekin. He helped him a lot in round 2. He was winning both races round 1. There we see Christian Engelhardt, a real pro with Huber Racing here as an instructor, talking to Georgi Donchev. So a lot of talent in the car and outside the cars. That's also worth mentioning. You see Saudi racing team and people getting heads together, what they need. That's the typical discussion where you already try to win some time. I saw Sigi Müller, the engineer. I saw Thomas. I saw some of the guys who are in charge of branding, like Sharon. These are the people who really want to know what should we do, what do we need to prepare. You need to really try to win every extra minute to ideally prepare that car.
And we've seen that the fastest sector here, sector 2, is I guess also the sector where you can lose most of the time in the lap. As you said, it's all about braking, and braking a bit too early can really damage a whole lap.
Yes, and you're right. It's sector 2 is also the longest sector. So mathematically speaking, this is where you can win again or also lose the most time. And good that we have now, the clock is stopped. So good that the time is stopped now. But speaking of which, and speaking of time, when there's 6 minutes left, and when you see that you need like 2 minutes or even a bit longer on the outlap, when the first car will come past here, it's less than 4 minutes to go. And then I will see that maybe there's the first couple of drivers who will manage to pull 2 or even 3 time laps in, while there will be others who might only manage to do 2 timed laps and fast laps. So like I said before, it's very clever that Harry Jones already lined up here. And obviously he was the first one to do so when he came in.
Yeah, and he needs that fast lap because currently he's only on 16. He did only 2 laps.
Yeah.
And at the end of the pack, it's Evrin Castro who only did 1 lap. So
yeah, you see, sometimes it's not always the right thing to do to wait until the very end. And this is what I also tell my drivers. Hi, Harry. That's also what I tell my drivers a lot in the Porsche Mobile 1 Super Cup. Sometimes it's even better, especially when you have tracks where it's easier to do mistakes. Like we've been talking about Monte Carlo, also Spa-Francorchamps, Monza, these great historic and classical racetracks that are very fast and then have very tight chicanes. So sometimes it's better not to try and wait for the last lap and for the last minute. I don't know if you agree.
Absolutely, because we have seen, for example, in Silverstone in the Porsche Mobile 1 Super Cup, here we see a 2-time Super Cup champion,
Yes.
Larry Tenforde, with Søren Spreng.
We need to mention Larry Tenforde,
yes,
of course.
absolutely, absolutely.
Glad to have him here in the paddock and in the pit lane working with Søren and GP Elite.
Exactly, and what I wanted to say is I remember when in Silverstone, I think it was on the outlap of the cars, it started to rain, and everybody had to push right from the very first. It was just a warm-up lap, and in the end, this lap was the lap that counted. So sometimes it's good to be prepared for whatever could happen during the qualifying.
I was there. You just reminded me. That was
that was weird. Somehow it was a curious situation.
That was English weather, British circumstances, and yes, then of course you need to go out early. But still, it's enough time now so that everyone normally, unless we see another incident, which I don't hope for everyone and for all the drivers. So, best of luck to everyone, and ideally try to find a gap, get some, a distance. And when I look at the time screens with Banda Alese in P17, he can move up, and he should really move up. Harry Jones, who was the fastest in free practice. Who else we have seen here? Like Alex Malekin, who is in P6. He was a winner here, the 6-hour race a week ago. So congrats to Alex and his team, Pure Racing. They've been participating here in Porsche 911 GT3R. While we see our marshals doing a great job here, they're also
using their feet.
Yes, sometimes it helps, to be honest. Sometimes you have to, apply some power. So yeah, the recovery team is trying their best, and we see loads of people working together.
Here we see Harry King giving some advices to Alex Malekin, the man he's taking care of. And it's amazing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers from the Pro-Am category in the first 2 rows in the grid. It's Georgi Donchev still on professional pole position. Behind him, Bashar Madini, the leader in the Pro-Am class. Salman bin Rashid Al Khalifa in 3rd. And Ahmed bin Kanen with its debut. He's 2nd row in the grid.
Leo very concentrated, also doors open. That's important to get a bit of fresh air. There's not a lot of air that you get in these cars while driving on track, so it's very normal to try to get some air, unless you come from the Dominican Republic. Then you're used to the heat. And
well, but as I said, I think he lives in New York City, so this time of the year should be cold as well.
You have a very valid point here, Eric. But yes, he seems to be super focused. And I expect the track to be clear within the next 5 minutes. So there wasn't that much debris from what I have seen, because mainly all the parts stayed on the car of Khaled Al Ahmedi, so it didn't look like car parts all over the place.
Hope there was no fluid somehow.
For sure, the drivers now, when they do the outlap, they need to see and watch out carefully when they pass that kind of position on the track.
Harry Jones waiting. Door is still open.
Hello.
I think this is Christopher Zöchling here. Yes, he's our expert and co-commenter later on in race 1. Hey,
yes.
Yeah, really, we should do some marketing here already to watch out for the race later on.
We can mention that. It's 4:30 local time, so that does mean it's 1:30 in Europe. We will have the first sprint race here of the weekend. 3rd round of the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East.
I'm very happy to hand over the headphones and the microphone to Christopher. He does a great job, and obviously he's a great driver. So it's, oh wow, see, that was, you see the 4 wheels braking until the last minute. Car is loaded. Should be back in the pit lane within 3 minutes.
Well, let's hope for the best that they can fix the car, but will be a lot of work.
At the moment, he's in P7, so Khaled Al Ahmedi, so that would be row number 4 with a 1:59.1. So, yeah, the position itself at the moment
should be. I don't think he will stay in 7th position with that time. No,
he will not stay there. But I mean, at the moment, the position was looking good, and I'm sure he was on a fast lap. He was trying his best, as always. He's a very talented man from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, very focused man. So it's really a shame, and I feel sorry for him seeing the session ending this way and having the car in the barrier.
Absolutely. So the car is coming back to the team. Where is his teammate, Saud Al Saud? He's in 14th position so far.
Yeah, they really need this track time now, because they're like with P13 for Ahmad and P14 for Saud and Banda in P17. So same as for most other drivers. Of course, when you go out late, you normally plan to run until the end, but this is motor racing and you can expect the unexpected. Like in this case, it is what it is.
And I'm a little surprised that we've seen in the back, it's Ariel Levy who is not in the field right now. Because I'm sure he wants to do another try to get pole position. He's in 5th position so far, the man who is leading the championship.
And this man, Mark J. Thomas, leading the AM championship. We were talking about him before. We get some inside view into the cockpit. So you see the Porsche, the cockpit itself is still in 1st gear right now. So that means once he's firing up the car with the start button, of course he needs a clutch. And there's a lot of buttons on the steering wheel. There's a pit limiter for the speed limit in the pit lane. All the lights, everything you need to, like flashing lights, indication, or the indicator itself. Many, many buttons on such a steering wheel here. And yeah, Mark is at the moment in a great P9 position. So that's a top 10 position right now. But he stays in the car, even he has probably used his new tires to the maximum, but he also wants to use the last 6 minutes of the session, which is fair enough. Maybe try and catch some slipstream and try to improve his lap time.
So here we see the man with his debut in the championship. He said, we've heard his interview after free practice, he said, well, there's room to improve, but he's happy to be part of the championship. And so far we can see him on 4th position on the grid.
Yeah, and I saw him this morning, a big smile on his face, so even underneath his helmet I can still see him smiling. Big smile to be here with Saudi Racing, to have this great possibility to join that team. It's an official project from the country of Saudi Arabia, from the ministry, and it's like a national team, and this is why they're also carrying the national colors. So it's really a privilege and a big sign, and a sign of respect, but also a big sign of honor to be part of that sports team here. And they are entering 4 cars in total with 2 juniors, and
yeah, one is missing now, unfortunately.
One is missing, unfortunately, you're right.
From a driver's perspective, what do you think, how difficult is it also, or especially for these guys who are like not so professional, to stay focused now for 6 minutes to have a great lap time in the end? I mean,
I would say everyone here is professional. Sorry to be because
I mean,
from a driver's point of view, and from
I would say just not knowing the situation
yes,
that well.
No, I know exactly what you meant to say, and I just want to put it clear that everyone here has a very professional approach, and obviously the difference for sure is experience. I would call it experience, and then again experience in such a situation. I think that's what you are asking me here. This is for sure a situation where you need to stay focused, which is even harder to stay concentrated. But the harder job basically are these guys here. They are facing like a really time issue, so they want to start as early as possible to get that car ready. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's more than 10 people around that car. And that's also great here because we have that, to use the word professional again, yes, we have a professional championship, but we have this kind of family atmosphere. So I'm sure all helping hands will be all over that car and help together to fix it in time. And that's also unique, and a big shout out to all the mechanics and all the team members in the pit lane, because that's also what sports stands for and what motorsport stands for in general. It's also about teamwork and being a team player, and therefore good luck to all of you, to all these hands, to hopefully fix that car.
Absolutely. We're still waiting for the last 6 minutes, still red flag, the first qualifying here.
Yeah, we see people looking at their watch, like Michael Roos, I see Harry King, everyone is looking, okay, what's the time? because at the end this also means that we will finish this session later. So not just only now for the car that needs a big repair, but also for all other cars. They usually, you know, all these cars need a service. You know, you need to make sure that you check the brakes again. Wow, beautiful cars here. A lot of classic cars, so it's good to have our classic friends and our local Porsche drivers and fans here from the club in Abu Dhabi and the partners here from Porsche in the region. They also will have their slot on track, and I can only recommend you not to miss that slot when these beautiful classic 911s go out, and enjoy their track time.
Maybe we can apply.
I was just about to think the same, but I don't believe that they have a car empty, ready, waiting for us, just sitting around. But I can read your mind. Now it's, oh wow, that's a 935. That's an amazing car. So really beautiful cars here. Big shout out to everyone who made the effort to join here, to come here to the Sports Cup Abu Dhabi event. Many thanks to our friends and partners. And next week, by the way, we are in Abu Dhabi at the great 1-Yas Marina circuit here, amazing facility. But next week, as the session starts, we will be racing at the Dubai Autodrome. So it's a back-to-back event. And yeah, let's listen to the noise and to the sound of the 18 remaining cars leaving the pit lane.
And now it's all or nothing for pole position. We've said it already. We have many guys that wants to be in front that only did 2 or 3 laps. So now it's all about getting everything done, perfectly done, in the last 6 minutes of this qualifying.
Yes, and it would be good now to focus from the cameras. It would be good to focus on the...
Yeah, but we see Ari Levy is also joining.
For sure he is. But it would be good to see, like Harry Jones, for example, who was now leading the pack out of the pit lane. He's on his out lap. He will prepare the car, the tires himself, so everyone else will do.
Here we see Alex Malikan.
Yes, yeah, like here he is.
Here he is.
And he should have a clear lap with no traffic, so no cars ahead of him, in front of him. You see Søren Sprang also getting ready for a clear lap. That's so important if there's limited track time, and there is, like I said before, there will only be less than 4 minutes left when they cross start and finish again. Then it's so important that, yes, you bring that heat into the tires, that your brakes are ready and warmed up. And then I would like to really follow a full lap with all the sectors of the number 12 car, because I have a feeling that the fastest man of free practice will set the first fast or really fast lap time here.
Yeah, we've seen Harry Jones. He was competing in with the season opener in Bahrain when we were racing together with the World Endurance Championship, with a night race, a Friday evening, a very special event, and now he's fighting for pole position here in Abu Dhabi.
So let's watch the sectors carefully. The first sector is a relatively short sector, around 24 seconds, plus minus. So let's see what the time does say for Harry Jones in the number 12 car. For DHL Racing, it's a 24.8, so it's a green, which means a personal best sector, but not an overall best sector. Then it would show a purple. So it's a personal best sector for him in sector 1. Also, yeah, some other personal best sectors, but so far the fastest one that we can see here is from Harry Jones, and for sure the most important sector is also the longest sector at the same time, going under the 1-Yas Marina, the W Hotel. It's a very iconic section here at the track at 1-Yas Marina circuit. He will soon be there. He is now on the back straight. There's a completely second complex. Ah, that was a bit of a oversteer. So you see the tire is not 100% ready. So he's fighting the rear here, and he will now enter into the last section. It's double right, followed by a tight left-hand corner underneath the W Hotel. So that's the iconic and I would say the signature
Of that
section
track.
here of that track, right? Very close to the wall on the exit. What was this sector?
Now he lost in the second sector. It's not a personal best. But we still see him on pole position.
Professional pole position for Harry Jones, P1 with a 1:5.60. So just a bit over the 1:5.6, the 1 minute and 56 seconds, sorry, mark.
But we've seen faster times in pre-practice, so he has to do another try. And now he has a purple first sector.
We are with Pasha Martini, who is P3 right now. He did a 56.6, so he's 6/10 off. The man in P3, so...
Yeah, he lost in the first sector.
It's a beautiful car here. Nice design from Huber Racing.
And now we have Ariel Levy on provisional pole position with 1:55.635.
Yeah, that would be good to see the number 75 car of Ariel Levy. I think I can already spot him here, the blue and white car again from Huber Racing. Teammate to Pasha Martini. He's now leading by 4/10.
Yeah, but also Harry Jones is on a very fast lap. This will be the fight. Ariel Levy or Harry Jones. Who's the man on pole position? Here we have Ariel Levy.
Yes, thank you to the team. Great job also to everyone who is working here for the live stream. Big shout out to you guys. Amazing pictures. And yes, that's amazing driving by Ariel Levy. You can see him fighting in the cockpit. What is the lap time? Oh, Harry did improve.
He is. Wow. Now it's a close fight.
It's a 1:5.55, so it's he's a tenth ahead of Ariel Levy. Can Ariel improve his lap time? At the moment, yes, it looks like he's on a personal best lap time, and it will all depend on the very last sector. While also Panda Alessay went to P3 now, he overtook Ghislain Cordel.
Yeah, but it's all about Harry Jones or Ariel Levy.
And the time is finished, you know, that's it. That's basically, we are at 0 to go, so 0 seconds left, and this is basically the last sector or the last 2 corners left for Ariel Levy. And can he grab pole position? Can he take it away from Harry Jones, the man from Australia? We will see. The double race winner from Bahrain. What does, Eric, what does the time screen say?
It says Ariel Levy. That was exciting. Wow.
And a great lap time set here by Ariel Levy for 1:55.2.
Was a purple third sector. That was amazing from the young man from Israel, driving for Huber Racing.
Well done and congratulations to Ariel Levy, to Huber Racing, our championship leader at the moment, and also to Huber Racing. They're leading the team championship. So well done. Again, car perfectly prepared and ready for qualifying.
Yeah, and we will see
an exciting
really
race.
Exciting starting grid with Ariel Levy in front of Harry Jones. Banda Alessay made it to third place. Ghislain Cordel on fourth, and Georgi Donchev, the man from Bulgaria, on fifth position. Ahead of Alex Malikan, Pasha Martini, the man who is in the lead in the Pro-Am class, on seventh. Ahmed Bin Kanen with his debut on a strong 8th position. Ahead of Søren Spreng, the man from Germany, on 9th. Saud Al-Saud, the teammate of Khaled Al-Ahmadi, who had that problem here in qualifying, is on 10th. Salman Al-Khalifa, the man from Bahrain Racing, in 11th position, and also a newcomer, Evrin Castro, on 12th position. So this will be a really exciting race today, and let's see who is on pole position in the AM class. I think it's Leo Willard.
Absolutely. I was just checking the screen
amazing.
again.
That's amazing.
Well done. P14 overall for Leo Willard in the 63 car. And Heitzer Monkeys Racing, so with a 1:58.7. Great lap time and yeah, pole position in the AM category.
Yeah, and Mark J. Thomas, the man who is leading only in his category on 4th position. Ahead of Jan Dobber. Yeah, that would be also interesting in the AM class. So, I think we can expect to see you all again at 4:30. It's the race start for the first sprint race here in Abu Dhabi. So, say it again, repeat it. It's 1:30 in Europe. We will be back with the race here, the 1-Yas Marina circuit.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. Thank
you.
you. For
a longer session than expected?
Yes, a longer session, which, like I said before, like 25 minutes longer, which does leave less time for the mechanics to prepare now. But it's important also for the drivers to get some rest. Luckily, there was lunchtime already before. So now it's about to analyze the data, to talk to the engineer, to see what changes you want to do to the car. We see Torsten here, team manager and principal here at the GP Elite team, still looking at his time screen on the phone. So yeah, for sure now it's heads together, see what we want to change. Also within the teams to compare the data that was collected, make the right setup changes, amendments, updates, and then focus for the race. I can't wait, and yeah. Looking forward to be in the starting grid later. For everyone who is here on track, please join us. Come to the starting grid, join us. And again, yeah, very happy Leo. I see Leo Willard smiling next to Franzi, his engineer, to Florian, to Cedric. So great job, well done. And let's have a good race and a safe race later on. Thank you very much. And
absolutely, thank you, Robert. So again, it's Ariel Levy on pole position here for the first sprint race. Here you're all again at 4:30, 1:30 in Europe. So see you then.